Shout out to everybody here on the live. It's about 2 hours earlier than normal. Flying to Singapore. Flying to Portugal today, 4 p.m. So we got to do this a little earlier than normal, but it's cool. We're going to get New York open. We're going to have some fun. We're going to break it down. And I'm actually excited. Bitcoin doing some damage here last night. Can it continue? Only time will tell. Only time will tell. Let's break it down for you in 9 minutes and 40 seconds. Just got to get my tap shoes on. Got to get my tie done. I'll have my tie on, but got to put a coat on, get a pocket square, and get ready for the stream. God bless everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. We have some red above us. We didn't have that yet. That's the first time the shorts are being triggered there. 112,000 for BTC. Still a lot of red below us there on BOOKMAP. Suggests that we are going lower, but only time will tell. I'll be here soon. God bless you. Thank you. Wow. All I got to say is, wow, what a beautiful day it is to be alive. I breathed in the air today, looked at my children and my kids. My children and my kids, right? Looked at my children. I said, wow, what a beautiful day it is to be alive. Let's put the lemon into the water. Let's take a big sip. Let's stay hydrated. Let's decalcify that pineal gland. Get ourselves on another level. God bless you. Thank you for being here. Let's break down Bitcoin. It's a little early, but we got to get that music up and running. The music's going to keep us moving. I live to music. I dance to music. I flow to the music. The music somehow, some way is my energy, is my flow. There we go. Pocket Square seemed a little out of place there. Nice. It does match the time. Pretty nice, though. I think I did a pretty dang good job. At first, I wasn't sure, but now when I see it, anyway, who cares? God bless everybody here on the live stream. My name's Sam Price, the Crypto Lifer. Started trading. I was about 22 years old, had a dream to become a millionaire in trading, just like everybody, right? I'm going to do something different with my life. It took me 17 years to make my first $1 million. That was now about 5 years ago, and time continues to move. So God bless everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here. And thank you for sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. I'm an online entrepreneur, real estate investor, just a serial entrepreneur looking for possibilities and the way to make the world better. I want to build products, and I want to teach you how to trade. That's me. That's my name. That's Sam Price. So the first thing I want to show you is this is a possible slanted, inverted head and shoulder. Not amazing, but I have seen this play out in my lifetime. I'm not saying it is going to, but I have. It's just, an idea that looks interesting that I didn't want to toss out into the window there. So let's take a look at the weekly time frame and break down what's happening on the weekly, because there's some crucial movements here today for Bitcoin. We lose some key levels. It's, but for some reason, the bears have had so many chances to take us down, and they're starting to stutter step a little bit, right? In my humble opinion, right? They had a lot of time. The weekly has reset. And usually when the weekly resets in a bear market, you have a pretty nasty dump. Like here, weekly reset pretty nice. And you always have that dead cat bounce, though, which makes a bear flag. Funny, a lot of people went bearish here. I did not. Very interesting thing today on the fear and greed at 15. Every time I bought BTC at 15, it's never been a bad idea. One time I think I did buy 15 at like 84. I think we did go to 74. It was like a 2 or 3 weeks below, but 4 or 5 months later, I was in the green like I wouldn't believe. And I'm not saying, I'm not telling you what to do with your money. You do whatever makes you happy. This is just a channel reality TV show of my life every single day and kind of what I do, right? And you can kind of learn the education. You can learn how to use the moving averages. You can learn how I use supportive resistance. You can learn what I do when I do it. Doesn't mean I'm right every time. Doesn't mean every move I make is perfect. That's the beauty of going live every day. And that's people won't respect you for being perfect. Nobody will do that. Trust me, because nobody's perfect. And everybody knows that deep down inside. People will respect you for showing up every single day, no matter what. That's what will build you. That's what will create just the honor in essence. I listened to Jim Rohn yesterday. He talked about when you walk in the room and you're a consistent person, you don't have to say anything. Everybody already knows why they're working with you. Everybody wants to work with consistency. Who doesn't want to work with a guy that shows up every single day, puts his best foot forward, looks the best, feels the best, makes it happen? Of course you want to work with that person. Of course I want to work with that person. We all want to work. So why shouldn't you be that person? Become the person you desire to work with, and everyone will desire to work with you. Isn't that interesting? That's probably one of the coolest things I've ever said, but it's true. It's 100% true. So the fear and greed at 15 tells me it's time not to be stingy. It's time to open up a little bit. And it's time to just buy a little more BTC. You just got to buy a little more BTC. Right? Why not? And let's top this off. Right now, you can see, I believe I have let's see what I have there. It was like, let's go back to, and you can see I'm on WEEX here. No problems holding funds. It's not all my money. I want to make that clear. But so look, 0.91, right? So we want a 0.85, and that's going to put us to 1 BTC, right? So we might as well go over a little bit. So we'll go to spot here on WEEX. And when the fear is at 15, I have to buy BTC. I have to. I don't care if we go to 9 or 10 and we get a meltdown to 96K, so be it. These are just too good. These prices are too dang good. So I'm going to limit in, right? Whatever where we're at here, 1028, 850. And we're going to go 0.08, 0.0. What are we doing over here? Eight, 9, right? Is that what we're doing? No. Yeah. And we're going to buy ourselves 0.089 of BTC. Okay. At the current prices. Seems like it's going down today. Oh, yeah. So sorry. So I have to go to the funded account. We got to transfer to spot, right? What was about 9,900. All right. Look at that. 1111777. That's what the account's at. That's crazy. 1111777. What is the odds of that? Like, how does that happen? Anyway, pretty interesting, right? So we're going to transfer that over. We're going to go back to spot. And it's good. I think it's good to transfer to funded. So you have yourself separated, right? So you're not all over the place. And we're just going to take the whole thing, right? And buy some BTC. Yeah, I think, because don't you have to pay some fees? And we scooped it up, right? Wow, Bitcoin just took a dump too. And now what we want to do is we want to go back to transfer. And we're going to be transferring the Bitcoin from the spot to the funded. Confirm, right? And then we're going to go back to the account. We're going to go to the funded, and we're going to see that whole BTC. Something that most people in the world will never do, right? And so, like, I purchased large amounts of BTC, 10 grand, 20 grand, 50 grand, when the fear and greed is at these levels. I mean, that's a 15. Are you kidding me? That's insane to me. Every time I've seen a 15, there's been a short squeeze. I don't know. At least within, I'd say, a couple weeks to a couple days, right? But a short squeeze does brew whenever I've seen this. Just like a long squeeze brews whenever I've seen us over here. Like, not selling in extreme greed has always not paid off. When Trump came out and Solana was whipping, we were in the 89, 90s. And we were in extreme greed, right? And people wanted to continue to be greedy. So, it is what it is. Well, 15-minute, we'll look at that 15-minute time frame and see if there's anything going on, because Bitcoin is imploding to the downside right now. The long from yesterday going down, basically now back to break even, which is kind of sad. So let's take a look. 1025 being challenged. Let's do our top data analysis for everybody out here. God bless my lifers and everyone kicking it with us on this live. Let me zoom out to boom out. How is my, some of the early stream, I have to fly. I'm flying to Lisbon. Yeah. To Portugal. To the Crypto Creator Conference CCC campus. CCCC. The Crypto Creator Campus Conference, or Crypto Creator Conference Campus. It's going to be amazing. I'm excited. All the basically exclusive and top influencers of the world in cryptocurrency are going to be there, with like the heads of marketing and a lot of different people. Basically, we're connecting everybody in the space that's on a high level. And that's, And so that's what CC is all about. And it's a big deal. I think it can only help, and it helps partners. It helps social media. It helps everything. Safe travels, my brother. Thank you so much. Yeah. Shout out to Vinny. I'll be in Miami at the Miami airport over here. Hey, meet me in Miami International over here. Hey, paisano. So let's take a look on BTC. So Bitcoin, technically could be in this channel and bouncing off the bottom of the channel. All right, that's just what we could be seeing. Again, this is your bullish scenario. Your bearish scenario is you've collapsed already and you're just continue to make lower lows. Once you lose this 99.9, see this, it's like or 100K, see how strong it is? There's a double top there, which you're coming into this. There's a lot of liquidity right there. People will put stop orders wherever they see a double top. Like right here, there's going to be buy orders. So people are going to buy in here. People that missed 100K will say, well, I'll just put some limit orders in at 100,000. And then some people are like, well, I'll put some limit orders down at 89 and so there's liquidity down here waiting to be tapped. You see? When you zoom out and realize how the entire world thinks about an asset and not just how you think, you can kind of take a deep breath and realize it's not just about you and when you buy. It's about everybody and all the opportunities that everybody else is looking for too as well. Okay? So, so you open up and you can just see these are bays of liquidity. Even if you didn't know a day, you don't have to see order blocks. You don't have to even look at the VRVP. You don't have to know a dang. You don't have to know a dang. All you got to know, and it's nice to have it. But look, this lines up with this. This node is here. I mean, there's a chunk right there, obviously, because this is where you have a lot of chop. If you know your support or resistance, you're going to basically trade the VRVP like a boss. You know if you break this level, there's a quick move back up to there because that's your next bigger resistance. You know there might be some profit taken right there at 95. Look, that's where the high volume node sits. Oh my goodness. It begins and ends in the range where the wicks, you know what I mean? So that's, see how what I'm saying is this is a high volume node. See how it lines up with this resistance? And you don't have to be a genius at trading. People do all this order block nonsense and they talk liquidity. I tell you right now, you don't even need to know those words. I use them sometimes, but you don't even know those words. You better, I think, I'd rather you use the word support or resistance than liquidity sweep. My thing is this. Too many people talking liquidity sweep, this, that. I get into the order block. I just find it, I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. But I feel like they just pick up terms, and I don't know if they even truly, they get it, but I don't know if they even truly know what they're saying. You know what I mean? And I could be wrong. So, yeah. Anyway, let's back up to the monthly chart. So the monthly has this resistance that we've been fighting now for a few days. Oh my gosh. Monthly fighting this resistance for days. Yeah. And the trade is up $20, still green, but dang, we were up like a few hundred. So resistance, support. Okay, once you lose support, you fall to the next support line. That's just how it is in trading. And it's like 90% you're going there. It's very rare you don't do this. So you got to start trusting in it. Support and resistance will change your life. It really will. So look, we got a bunch of people that decided to go long, and they got stop losses and liquidations at 93K. And we got a bunch of people that went short, and they got stop losses and liquidations at 112,000. Or these are the people that were long up at 120, and they've been moving themselves into profit too. So they won't even be, they get hit off. Maybe they just, they're taking some profits. There will be some late shorts. So which way does Bitcoin want to go? I mean, right now it suggests Bitcoin goes lower to 100,000 to clean up this bar here. Because this is where a bunch of people have their liquidations and stop losses. This is where people went long. They think they got it. They think they called the bottom. And they could easily get liquidated down here. I tell you what, I don't call bottoms below the daily 200 moving average. We are bouncing off the 2-day. That gives some strong, there's some credence to that, but it's not amazing. So here we are with Bitcoin. And again, every time it loses this level, 102.5, you can see we're starting to creep below it. That is a bearish sign for the monthly time frame. And if the monthly decides it wants to close below that, that is bearish. 7-day chart made a tweezer bottom, but with a kind of a drastic wick to the downside, but now it's in an indecision doji. Still some drastic support there at 101.5 on the 7-day. The 5-day chart, 101.52 as well, is holding strong. The 3-day chart looks like it's going to give up its tweezer bottom. To me, that just looks somewhat bearish. Shoulder, head, right. You can see that's a head and shoulder pattern that has a longer, deeper. This is what has me really I'm a traditional trader. I like the patterns. The patterns play out, I'd say 90% of the time. It says 68, but I mean, that's a shoulder, a head, a right shoulder. Then you're dwindling. And that would give you a $84,000 BTC. So to me, it just, that's bearish. So that's a check for the bears, right? And so right now, even from the monthly on down, you're losing monthly support. You're at 102,250 now. So I don't know, I'm out of the trade from last night. That is now, excuse me, that's now, I don't see a point in getting into that. Right now, I got to see what they're doing, right? And you can see price action starting to implode here at 8:30 pre-New York market. Bitcoin struggling to hold position. Hit that like button. Shout out to Underground Crypto. Thank you for being here. God bless you. Thank you for the ride. So shoulder, head, right shoulder. Measured move to $84,406. Okay? On the 3-day chart. Oversold. Let's go to the daily time frame. The daily. Let's break it down now. So we see our weekly and our monthly levels. We can kind of clear, they're pretty much defined here. You lose this level, you hit the POC at 96. You lose 96, you come back down there to 88, and then maybe you flirt with 84,000, right? You lose that, you come down to 75. You lose that, you come to this bay at 69, and then you're talking 65K. All these are possible areas. If you don't think it's possible, then maybe you shouldn't be trading, okay? You have to have a plan for everything. You have to put in what you're willing to lose and then be willing to take a beating if you're going to hold long term. I decided I'm only going to buy something that I could hold for maybe 4 to 5 years right now. BNB, Solana, Bitcoin. I'm not even truly in love with Ethereum, to be honest. It's just not, it doesn't do it for me anymore, but I have enough of it too. If I didn't have Ethereum, possibly Ethereum. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I say and do should be taken as such. This is for entertainment and educational purposes only, but I'm just saying, for me, I'm not taking a shot on anything too crazy anymore. Like, I did my shots. I took as many as I could. Waited way too long. See, time to me is as important as money. It's actually more important than money to me because I get less of it every single day, right? Unless, you never know. There could be some invention or something and there's more time created for me. But you know what I mean. Right now, in my present moment in time, interesting. I got what I got. So when an investment takes a very, very long time, like a little longer than normal, to me, that is a waste of my money. I don't care because it's a waste of my time. I could have put the money somewhere else, and I'm willing to pivot too. If I thought there was going to be a return at a certain amount of time and I didn't get it, it would kind of like... So look, bounce here, resistance there. That's an SR flippy. And if you flip this upside down, sometimes it's easier for my students to see things bearishly. That's kind of what we go for. Like, that's a bull flag that bounces off the 200. And like, you would expect this to continue further to the upside here, right? Somewhere to $86,000. That would be the measured move. And it might even be a bigger one, right? But that's, and you're above the 200, you got the golden cross, but we flip this upside down. So this is my strategy. I'm surprised they didn't dump it yet. Like, I kept going short, then I'd see us get back above the 200, and I'd be like, oh, whoa. They chopped a lot of people yesterday. I made $3,000, gave 700 back, made 400 in the night, you know what I mean? Woke up today up 200. You can see price came back, stopped me out at break even. So it's kind of like, even for me, it's been a bit of like, okay, this is how you're going to play us right now. Look, and that's, you can see that's chopped. Like, this is direction. Look, consolidation, dump. Inverted head and shoulder, bump. Like, we read the right shoulder, bump. Like, cup and handle, bump. Retest the 786. Like, this made sense to a lot of people, me included. We got a nice run. Resistance at a double top. Break to the downside. I get it. It's interesting, too. Like, when you see it, like, that's an M pattern. That had a measured move with a base. And look, that's pretty close. And you might eventually hit that target, too. So, right now, Daly's attempting to put in a double bottom. It looked amazing earlier as this was a bullish engulfing candle. It engulfed this candle. Last night, by I think about 1 in the morning, we were doing all right. Bitcoin coming back to 102.5 strong. So the idea here is So long the daily by front running the fact that this is going to be a double bottom. A lot of things say no way, but the masses, I don't think the masses will do this. I think the majority of people will be short at this point and devastated and in their heads and emotional. I don't think a lot of people will be mentally stable enough to sit here calmly and buy into the green candle, and I could be completely out of my mind and whacked out wrong here, which is possible. That's what I want everyone to understand. These are my, so what I'm looking at, and again, what I think, but I also, this is a probability that I've played out before, So you're looking for this to double bottom, come up here. I mean, imagine the shorts, even if they decide to take it down again. That could be the head and shoulder, and then they could come down. But the shorts will get absolutely liquidated. You will get that thing again, And remember, the most entertaining outcome is always the most likely. Isn't that the fun? Yeah, right? So wouldn't that be the most entertaining? If the shorts got destroyed, it would be. So we sit with this idea that this could possibly be a beautiful long entry that nobody's paying attention to. And again, look at this. Daily couldn't get below. Daily couldn't get below. Daily couldn't get below. Daily couldn't get below. Again, if you keep hitting support, you do eventually break it, right? And this kind of has a head and shoulder vibe. We're going to zoom in a second. So this is just your copium for the day. You're back at 102.5. Bitcoin is attempting to hold that key zone. And we're going to watch the NASDAQ at market open today too as well, which is going to be absolutely fun. So 92.88K last dump. I'm all in long today. Wow, he's all in long. That's interesting. So let's see what people were saying. He says, I'm all in long. Why would people invest in crypto ever again when they see that we had such a recent bull run? The sentiment is dying around crypto. That's what you want to see. I'm telling you right now, every time people start talking like you, like this, your crypto is dying, every time I see something like this, that's when something's about to pop. Yeah. It's crazy. When the sentiment turns completely disgusting and they get everybody away from an asset, usually that's when it's about to do damage. All right. But I could be wrong. But your comment alone is starting to make me bullish. Someone said, government rug pull it coming. Wow. Do you still have render? No. That's why you're up early on the NASDAQ. I'm up early. I have to fly. I don't have to. I am flying to Lisbon for the Crypto Creator Conference, Campus Conference. Shoulder, head, shoulder, double bottom. Can't wait. I know, right? So, but the thing is, if this can close, but yeah, I mean, it already had the beautiful pump up and it was beautiful. Like now it gave it back. I don't know. It's rare, right? We go right through the wick again. It could happen, but it's rare. So, and I had an idea too. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate you all for being here. I'm super grateful. Bless, bless, bless. And we'll send out another notification there that'll hit the phones. Government open ETFs will come for many coins this month. Ooh, that's dope. Safe travels, friend. Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to Lisbon just for the weekend. Yeah, crypto is not losing momentum. Everything will catch up and boom, eventually. Patience. Yeah. Only selective altcoins are run. Yeah, is that a historic low number for the fear number? It's very. It actually gets me excited. You don't get to see 15. It's very rare. Let's go to the max. And so this line here is 10, right? So you were near 10 or 15 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Since 2018, you've been here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times you've been down here. 8 times. So in about 8 years, 7, 8 years, you've been down here only 8 times. And here we are again, creeping down to 15. I mean, could we go lower to 10? It looks like we may, but once you hit 10 and 9, I mean, it doesn't get much lower than that. Hey, are you a skier or snowboarding this season? I'm a snowboarder, but I honestly haven't been on the board in so long, man. You're going to make me cry, actually, because I love snowboarding. I grew up, my dad was nice enough to take me to Mount Snow, to Killington, right, to Stowe. He had friends that brought us up there. When you're on tour, Bitcoin usually pumps. Remember that. I know. Let's see what happens. It can start pumping the day I fly away. You're headed to Lisbon. The food in Portugal is amazing. You'll love this. That's my motherland. Yeah, and shout out to everybody here. If you want to jump on in and join, we're going to do a Lisbon meetup. So if you're in Lisbon, you're from Lisbon, you want to hang out with me in Lisbon, where we have a Telegram group. You do have to join the trading group. But we have a Telegram group. Come join that Telegram group. I'm going to post it right now to the Discord so you guys can get in now while I'm talking about it. It's going to be called Lisbon Meetup Group in the Discord. That's just the post, but it will take you to a Telegram. Okay? Life for Lisbon Meetup, baby. Okay, so let's get back. So the daily's in a bear flag, touching the 21. We flip it upside down, or could it be double topping? You see that? Very rare double tops right above the 200, but look, there it is. There's my signal there, and it's a double top there. Isn't that funny? It was above the 200. We were low in the stochastics. Everything seemed great. We got a bit of a pump. Funny, stochastics are in the middle, which is a great, it's an interesting place. It means they could curve down and continue to pump, or they could flip back up. My sweet little daughter wants me to put on her beautiful necklace, and you can't say no to a sweet girl like you, could I? Could I say no to you, baby? Necklace done on point. I had just enough. I had to do it in seconds. God bless you, sweetie. Oh, my kids are the best, man. What a blessing, right? She comes in and wants me to put her necklace on. Like, that is just... She is the sweetest thing I've ever seen in my life, man. Man, she just broke my heart right now. I'm going to miss her, man. I'm going to miss my kids 4 days, but I'll be back. This one's quick. The other trips have been longer. I'm excited because this trip is fast. It will go by fast. I'm excited for it to be fast. But, I'm excited for the trip, but I love the holidays. My buddy is flying home that I haven't seen in years. So look what we're starting to see here for Bitcoin too on the 10 hour. Just kind of flipped it on accident, just flipped on the 10. But that looks like a head and shoulders pattern very beginning to brew here for BTC. So Bitcoin to me looks a bit bearish. Whenever I'm below the daily 200 moving average, I am more of a bear than a bull. The bear's got to get us back above the 200. You see what I'm saying? So there's a gutsy call here. And it's up to the person. Do they long that daily? Or do you just continue to short this market? The shorts are in favor. And look, this is kind of a bear flag, right? That you could say bearishly retested today and is about to dump. See that? It looks bearish to me. And the measured move is the length of this pole here. Makes sense right there to about 87,000. So I'm still getting bearish vibes for Bitcoin. And look, that's a head and shoulder pattern, is it not? Kind of like that we saw in the 1 hour, but we could extend it. So I'm seeing a head and shoulder on the 4 hour time frame. So let's see what people are saying here. I want to see what you guys think. Just to start a poll here. Are you bullish or bearish? Are you bullish or bearish on BTC? And I will always do that. I don't know why I always do that. It's like that age before the answer. Are you bullish or bearish? Let's take a bear or bull. Bitcoin, bullish or bearish on BTC? Start a poll. Let me know what you guys think. I want to hear what you have to say. So this is, I kind of paint a picture that looks a little more bearish to me. The daily looks like it's double bottoming. If I traded it, I would have to trade the daily and just kind of like I did last night. And just let it go. But it doesn't look amazing. The 1 hour time frame, we could say it could be possibly making a little bit of a bull flag here. It's attempting to break out, but it just, it doesn't look amazing to me. I have to be honest. That's some hopium. 15-minute 2 looks kind of head and shouldery. Would have to get back above the 200 moving average. 7-minute battling the 200. 5-minute battling the 200. 1 minute below the 200. Where some massive dumps occur. This morning, look, though, we crossed the 200 moving average last night at like 12 o'clock at night, and we did pump all the way back to 104K, basically, right? 102, that's a nice $2,000 move for Bitcoin. Crossing the 200 moving average. Right as the New York opened on 12 o'clock. That's why I love open. It's my favorite thing to do is trade the Wednesday, Thursday night areas, right? So, give it out. Remember, it's not following through life. I don't know what someone said. I want to be bullish, but fake outs don't last this long. We are cooked. I'd stay patient. There's a falling wedge in the weekly, clearing 105, sends bullish. I want to be bullish, but fake outs don't last this long. We are cooked. RSI in the high time frame says we go lower. I like what you said there, yeah. So, we will see. We got 51% to 49% and 172 votes right now. It's a battle between the Bulls and the Bears. I remain bearish. I think that's the smartest thing to do, but it does look like a liquidation could occur here. Now what I'm seeing is, would this be the shoulder, this be a bit of a head, and this be a right shoulder? Could we chunk our way on out of here slowly but surely for Bitcoin? Could we defend 100K so hard? You know, a part of me would love to just long this and let it cook and see where it goes. So, possible double bottom on the daily is really what I'm looking at. And it depends on this daily candle closing. This daily candle closes green, we have a chance. All right. Long and strong over here. Have a smooth flight, sir. Thank you so much, my man. Shout out to Crypto Tice Rebel. Cryptic Rebel. Oh, yeah. Cryptic Rebel, man. So, Xeno moved as you predicted, but still need to reach the target. X non USDT. Thank you so much for saying that. Coming to my humble country. Hope you like the visit. Thank you so much. God bless you. Slanted and inverted Adam and Eve building on the third shoulder on the daily. 125K range, end of month. I love this guy. We're going to take a look at all coins in a second. Thank you for asking. My man PB2K3 says, update on alt season. If Bitcoin down and it drops, will alts pump or we go down with Bitcoin? It just depends on what Bitcoin does, honestly. You got to look at the Bitcoin chart. I love when your girls pop in your show. Such a great fun, Dad. I love you, man. God bless you, brother. On your chart, that looks like a bearish retest of the bear flag, 100%. I love what somebody just said. Totally agreed. Bearish retest of the bear flag. Perfect entry right there, right? Yeah, bam, 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 boom, boom, bearish retest. Let the bodies hit the floor, right? It looks like a drop. So, we already started the third shoulder on the inverse on the 4-hour time frame. Well, then this is what I was showing people. The third shoulder. Well, I was showing people this insanity. It's something that my mind saw as I went to sleep, you know, as I was tucking myself in. Shoulder, head, right shoulder. And that sends it somewhere up here to 114,000, 115K. And there's a resistance here too as well. You can see resistance, shoulder, head. That looks like a right shoulder to me. So I got mixed signals. It's choppy business. I will say you have the bull div. You've got the rounded bottom. Rounded bottoms pay the bills. You know, the bulls have been fighting hard, but that does look like a bearish retest starting to drop, make the right shoulder, and send that puppy to the downside, right? So for me, it's about the daily candle yet again. The daily candle could be front run. If it continues to pump, so be it. Looks like it might even chop around and, you know, Lifer, you see potential in the H&S or the weekly? You see the potential? I already see. No, I don't see a potential. I see it already is there. Shoulder, head, right shoulder. There's a shoulder, a head, right shoulder there. Like, I don't see a potential. I see it already. I see this shoulder, head, right shoulder, but to me that would be on the monthly. You know what I mean? It just looks, makes more sense. I do see a potential head and shoulder forming on the monthly, on the weekly. Yeah, so the bigger time frames, yes. If that's what you're talking about, yeah, you're spot on. I think, and I believe that's, yeah. Someone says, what would a safer entry be on the daily? If I personally was going for a long on the daily time frame, I'd be looking for the 1 minute to get back above the 200 moving average. Once the 1 minute got safely above, I would look for the 21 to cross that. Look, that's a head and shoulder pattern. This is beautiful to see how it plays out. Look, that's a shoulder. That's a head and shoulder right there in front of you, right? And that's supposed to make the measured move right down to probably back to here, see? And then you have to make, can we double bottom? You can see how beautiful patterns are made. You know, it says what's going to happen. That's basically kind of an Adam and Eve. But it's even kind of a shoulder, head, and right shoulder. There's like a mini one there. But that's a descending triangle too as well. Let me show you. These break down like 90% of the time. The descending triangle. You'll have this move here with a flat bottom. You take the base of the triangle, and that's really where you're going to dump. It will go straight out the triangle in a straight line. And look, they've just been dumping Bitcoin since 8 in the morning on the dot. So right as 8 struck, or 8:05, right shoulder started to get made at 8 o'clock, and then just boom, the tumbling began. Resistance came in strong at 103,250, and Bitcoin has been struggling ever since. So to me, again, it's a choppy day to trade. For me to be in the airport and to be, you know, moving around, it's not amazing. Looks like I'll go hard on the daily and might just get stopped out. I do see how there's a chance at a double bottom, but it just looks weak. For me, I would really want to wait for the daily candle to close. The only thing is the daily candle could close like huge, right? But hey, it is what it is. I can always get from this move to there and not be greedy. So for me, I think it's either you stay in a short with a stop maybe somewhere up around here. You know, for me, either I stay in a short with a stop above 106, right? Yeah. They're dumping it all way back down again. Yeah. Look at Bitcoin on the 12-month chart. Looks like a meme coin ready to dump, just saying. On the 12-month chart. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it has some crazy, right? That's from 2017, just kind of like uptrend only. Could it come back down to 20K? I mean, wow. You never know. Is it a tulip? People, I mean, they get in people's heads pretty hard, pretty fast. Michael Saylor ends losing billions of dollars. It turns into a, you know, Bitcoin runs so much better after the stock market before stock overtrading seems to be the thing to catch moves on, yeah. I hope Satoshi doesn't sell this time, you're funny. Resolve, the USR stablecoin protocol has been hot tokenized layer RLP enabling yield farming. Interesting. That could create definitely some liquidity. Not last night or this week, last few weeks, but sometimes. Bitcoin 12-month chart is looking at dollar value as much as Bitcoin gaining it. Yeah, it's true. I like what he's saying that. Like, they're printing a lot of money. So that's affecting that chart heavily, yeah. So look, even the 1 hour for Bitcoin loses the 200 moving average. And I honestly, to make sense of this, you have to put it in what's called a symmetrical triangle. And symmetrical triangles break down most of the time. So this also suggests that this is going to take a beating. So I'd look for Bitcoin to come down and possibly test 98,000. And then we look for the liquidity on BOOKMAP. BOOKMAP shows you a heat map, just like if you were looking for, you know, humans in an infrared goggles. And then it also shows, or anything with a heart rate. And then it also shows you the order book. So it's a heat map order book called BOOKMAP. And it shows me, hey, there's a bunch of people that have a stop loss or liquidation levels at 99,008, 97,000, 99.7. So it's telling me, hey, it wouldn't take much for us to get down there and liquidate those people. So it's saying, hey, the highest odds today are moving to the red zone, 99,750, 98,150, and then possibly down to clear 92K. You can see? There is red up here, but it's further away. This indicator likes to show me where red is, and I've learned from just doing this over time, we like to hit the nearest red. So that's the most people that will get liquidated the fastest at 99,750. So that's the most likely scenario, right? So, and this is a symmetrical triangle. They mainly break down, and this has the similar pathway for me. So it's tough. Like, it's stuck. I could see people short right now and get absolutely liquidated. But the probability does tell you to long this market. Not to long this market, right? I think it's smart to possibly even just sit on my hands and not trade since I'm traveling. Which is kind of lame, right? Last time I flew a trade in, and I was in a trade the whole time I was on the plane. That just looks like it's going to dump on us. I could see this starting to collapse like any minute now. So I'm pretty bearish on BTC. I know there's a daily double bottom, but that's not confirmed. I need to see that confirmed. And stops above this resistance here for me, above 103. So to me, this is the most likely scenario, is to short the market down to $98,000, sad to say. I've had some better luck on the weekend trade in the last few weeks as well. My thing is being okay with Robin and not going for the gusto. Small wins win every time, man. Yeah. The penny is done. Yeah, they stopped printing the penny. It cost $3.69. They will never mint pennies again. They minted the last penny. And that's when inflation is kicked in, right? Like things start, they'll disappear. Next is, someone just said next is the nickel, of course, yeah. And then the dime, and yeah. Settle for peace, small nap on the plate, and enjoy. God bless you. Yeah. You said 8 a.m. yesterday. I forgot. Yep. I had to say it over and over again. I said, what time will it be, everybody? So Bitcoin looks like it's going to collapse to the downside. You have one more support zone where you've had this resistance here. But other than that, and then it will possibly double bottom at 101 on the 1 hour. But I see more movement to the downside. It's saying it's going to dump. And we're dumping as we speak here for Bitcoin. Touch 125 yet again. All right. In a bad short right there, 2.85 risk-reward ratio. Let me just take a look at it. This is how it starts every time, though, right? I'm just going to look at it. Well, it looks like we're about to take a dump easy. Even the stochastics on the daily don't look too good right now. They're crossing bearish. And as we talked about it, to me, it does look like a bearish retest of the bear flag. So symmetrical triangles break down 90, so many times. So much more than any other pattern I've seen. Again, another issue with trading lately is the volume is just lower than normal, so it's harder to hide and blend in, blend into the long grass, so to speak, right? You know what I mean? You don't want to be seen by the maker. The market maker, not the man. Funny, right? Adam and Eve. So that's, for me, I don't know, 103,842. Which is not too full, but Oh, we're bouncing. I'm stuck. Like half my brain says, take the long on the daily. Be a legend and hit that double bottom. I mean, there's a cup and handle there. I'm called Sammy Cup and Handy, right? Could the cup and handle save the day here? Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold your horses. The Sammy Cup and Handy. The Fibonacci retracement to the 618 Golden Paquito. It's in the 618 Golden Pocket. Unbelievable. It's right there. You can't make it up. Cup and handle at the 618. Textbook bounce. Could we get it with low stochastics? My goodness. The bounce back to 106. The shorts get liquidated. Liquidated shorts. Where is he when you need him? One of the best names in all of YouTube there for sure. XRP ETF, yes. Metals continue. Yeah, 1 hour concur for the inverse head and shoulder. Veti Go, we love you. Shout out to Veti Go. Somebody said, nope, it's a dump. Right? It's so, do you take the symmetrical, wait for it to come to the top of the pattern for a better entry? Or does this puppy just begin to roll over? Is the short the best look right now? Right? So it's tough. Let me give it some time. It's 9:07. We don't have to enter just yet. Let's give it some time. If it starts to move pretty fast the other way, though, it's going to dump. So I definitely should be ready. We take that to 96,369. I'm not saying we're getting there. That's just what I would, that's the setup. I play probabilities. I don't tell you I know what's going to happen to BTC because I know nothing but the fact of my own ignorance, right? I've submitted to God. I said, if God got me this far, look, we started streaming 4 or 5 years ago, 6 years ago soon on this channel, right? In 2019. No, yeah, 6 years ago. Wow. The channel's 6 years old. I don't think we took it like extremely hard until, after 6-7 months, we started going real hard. But the channel began in 2019, in September. That's when it all started for young Sammy. For young Sammy the trader. Young Sam the trader. So let's take a look, And again, God bless you and your family, your parrot, your bird, your aunt, your uncle, your nephew, your sons, your daughters, right? Your brothers and your sisters, their kids, their family. God bless your whole family. Your aunt, your godmother, godfather, great uncle, great grandma, abuelo, abuela. Shout out to everybody here. We love you. We thank you. And we hope your family's healthy and well. Stay blessed, everybody. Wish well on others and well will come to you. You reap what you sow. Every single time. Yeah, so we're looking to see if we can get ourselves a bit of a head and shoulder. If the 1 hour gets back above the 200 moving average, there's a chance here that this thing could do some dirty dancing, right? I'm not saying this is guaranteed, but that is a cup and handle there. I almost missed it. Some say no, it's a low. It's a lower low and a lower high. Interesting. So do you short or long here? It's tough. It's a tough call. I'd have to watch it and look at it again. Gold, SPY, and freefall BTC fighting, somebody says. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ futures and see what's happening. TES1. I love these people in freefall. They're so funny, right? So we told you that the NASDAQ and the S&P would be making these beautiful flags and consolidating for its next big run to the upside. Remember, nothing goes up forever. They're going to convince you of fear. Someone's drinking a lot of fear Kool-Aid, though, because this looks interesting to me. Some say, oh, that's a shoulder, head, right shoulder. They did that last time. No way. They made everybody short this head and shoulder. They convinced you it was so bearish. I told you no. I told you it was a bull flag, remember? And I said, look for this thing to break out, and it did. I told you to long here or long there. It's, whatever. I went over the idea that longing these areas were higher probability based on the education of the charts were providing me. We're in the middle of a range right now. Can't diddle in the middle. Whoa. So for me, let's just kind of shrink this in. You can see that the S&P is just starting to do a beautiful consolidation, which makes sense. And yeah, that looks, we figured this would go up, down, back up. So we called the pump back up. What a run that's been. They liquidated so many people. And then this is going to get everyone telling you that it's bearish again, right? And it's going to come up, get tight. They're going to have to print the money, quantitative easing. And then bang. You never, if there's a black swan, fine, right? A black swan is, I don't want to say, but there could be a black swan. There's always the idea of something, but I project no black swan. I project that we will bounce. I projected to positive energy that somehow, some way, this market does. They're going to print the money. So, in my mind, I look for this TA to play out like this. So, yeah, I'm expecting a dump back to the 200 moving average in the 4-hour time frame. It looks likely. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ, the NQ E-mini futures. The NASDAQ already down 153 points on the morning. And again, look, they're all going to say, look, shoulder, head, right shoulder. They're going to paint a picture of just the nastiness. But you can see bounce, bounce, bounce. We've been using the 200 moving average. And it looks like it's going to prevail. It seems to have every single time so far. And I see kind of a parabola forming here. So I could be out of my mind, but again, that is a head and shoulder pattern. I get it. And there's a head and shoulder right here. I did want to see this come up a little bit more. There's a shoulder, head, right shoulder. That we might do something like that. But let's take a look at it closer. I will say that's a little too, it's a pretty slanted line on the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ does, I have to give it to you, does look a little more bearish. And it can't be overly just like, but you're getting to oversold regions, but that's a head and shoulder. You expect that to make the measured move. Somewhere down to about right here. Right about there, like $25,100. $29,665. If it, were to prevail, but it's going to be tight. But I'm projecting a lot of fear, a lot of tightness, but it's a crazy breakout here, and it's going to take its time. I don't see it happening till end of November into December. Right. So back to this idea, to me, Bitcoin retest, bearish, below, bearish. I know I'm Sammy Cup and handle, but man, it will be the most legendary long of my life, right? Like, but again, sometimes you think about it for the guts and there is no glory, but. So again, let's go over what we talked about today because there was a lot of concepts. I want to make sure we're all kind of on the same page. We had what looked like a double bottom, and we tweezed our bottom of the daily, and this candle had bullishly engulfed it, and it looks like, okay, we're going to play around up here all day, which I was cool with, and then close with a bullish engulfing candle. We don't want to see three red shoulders, right? Now look at this bearish cross here on the stochastics RSI. Usually that is, I guess there we got like a little one and then it flipped back. Well, usually once you get the bearish cross, there's some drawdown there. We keep battling 102.5, the monthly support or resistance. I told you if you lose that, it's 96,000. BOOKMAP has a bunch of liquidity lower. So you can see all the things that we use to trade are all showing signs of a move to the downside. But then why am I so reluctant to open a short? And then I know symmetrical triangles, on Bitcoin specifically have been, the last 2 years, these flags have dumped to the downside like 90% of the time that I put them out. You know what it is? My trading instinct says, hey, you could easily get stopped out if you're short. You could easily get stopped out if you're long here. And I'm live in front of everyone. So I'm like, dang. Like, the odds don't look great. Like, I don't have, obviously, normally I'll just jump in. I'll say, oh, I'm long on this. I like what I'm doing, right? And I'll jump in. You could even say, look, it's half of a head and shoulder. You don't even need the other right shoulder. Just dream it up. It's there. Once we lose 102,000, we see 101 again. It's going to get people scared. To me, I just, it looks like short is the position. I just don't know if it's going to be a huge short for me. I'm not like 6 for $2,000. If I make $7,000 on the short, it would be epic, right? While I'm in the airport, I could also lose 2 racks. The balance of life here, right? The ups and downs. I don't believe I could add to it. There's kind of a time and a place here. And that's why sometimes I just make it smaller for my mind. And I could take the $800 loss in the airport, not really stress it. I don't know if I'd want to be losing $3,000 in the airport. You know what I mean? It's just like how it works for me in my mind. I'm still been reluctant. Let me take a look at the smaller time frames. Are they building? I mean, lost the 200 moving average. Looks like it could dump even more. Make the flag continue. Huh. 102,150. 9:17, 13 minutes till New York market opens. The regular market. We got futures, but the regular market. Little bullish divergence here too. On the 5-minute time frame. How do I know? I just know. I could type in RSI and show it to you. But you got a slight, let me show you there. It's kind of a flat, flat, but it's a move up. It's an uptrend right there. And that's a downtrend, right? It says you should be bouncing. It's interesting, right? The cup and handle on the 618 fib. You would turtle soup the whole market. Everyone would be short. You'd be long, and we would wreck everybody. I could see it happen. The daily candle plays out the double bottom. The bulls prevail. You know what it is I own so many BTC long term in my mind. I don't really own it. I just in my mind, But the idea is, when I'm long Bitcoin in the long term is the whole point I'm saying. And because I'm long Bitcoin long term, it's like it's easy for me to sell myself a bullish story, right? Because, think about it. It's a long-term asset of mine. So I'm always going to be a little more bullishly biased. So that's why I'm like, yeah, be a legend. Be a legend, mate. Long the daily. Long the daily like a big boss. Show everybody what you're made of and stop being such a wuss. That's kind of like the what I hear in my mind. I'm like, all right. I'll show you that I'm big and tough with the daily. But I could technically, symmetrical triangles tell you there's a 50% chance of going either way. So when you take a symmetrical triangle, make, well, I've had a good month of trading. I'll take a shot on this 50% pattern. You know what I mean? It could go either way. Or you could say, oh, it is what it is. It depends. So, and you got to just kind of pick what you're thinking, right? Okay, one thing I just want to check out with my ride. Okay, blessings to everybody here. So yeah, we're battling this low level. Seems like we're getting, a bit punchy here to the upside. He's like, my ride. I'm like, are you on the way? He's like, I'm in the drive red, bro. Thank you so much, man. God bless you. That is such a relief, man. Appreciate that. You never know, man. You know, even when you order a professional Uber, you just never know. Are they going to show up on time? What's going on? God bless you, man. Short or long, just for fun. The entire world is a chaos, which is bad for markets. CMC Crypto Fear and Greed Index. I mean, when that fear is this, I mean, it honestly tells you to long. To long the fear. But like, I mean, BOOKMAP screaming liquidity, but I've seen this before. We've denied the liquidity. We didn't go to it, but it's rare. That's all. I'd be going, if I long right now, it means I'm just like, I'm so out of the ordinary going against the grain. You could set a trap for both. You know, I've done the both. You could lose both too. Some people, no one ever talks about, they're always like, oh, it's so great when I long, when I go short and long, but they never talk about when they lose both trades, which can happen. Right? I like this guy. He goes, honestly, trust me, just go long. You'll be all right. So funny. Why should I go long? You know what I mean? Like, what would be the point of that? I just, in the airport, man. And I'm live trading here if I do on WEEX, right? Let's see here. We get this kind of like falling wedge, right? That's that cup and handle, though. Daily could break out of a falling wedge, too, right? 102,389 for Bitcoin. Shout out to everybody jumping on in. We're analyzing BTC. As I've talked about earlier, there's a bit of a double bottom here on Bitcoin on the daily time frame. But it needs to be confirmed with a close, a candle close, a green candle close of the daily. We were bullish engulfing earlier today, but got resistance at these two candles at a 103.8. So you got to get back above 103.8. You got a bearish cross on the stochastics. What it also looks to us is like a bearish retest. You could even put it here like a bearish retest of this pattern, you know. Some say, no, you're still inside a bigger channel. And Bitcoin's going to break back to the top of that channel. And we're just in a giant channel. I mean, there's a few ways to look at this. To me, shoulder, head, right shoulder. And you kind of were in one of these, right? I looked at this as like it was a bear flag channel. And you barely retested the channel. And then you can see that this is a shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder. So we either basically short, and then what I talked about is we zoomed into the 1 hour, and we found this to be a symmetrical triangle. So just kind of going over, if you're just jumping on in today and you want to, like, you know, pick up where we are and see what's going on, that's kind of the quick summary of the TA that we've got. So, and that's kind of the choices of probability. All right, we have a bunch. There's a lot here. Shout out to the 1,200 beautiful souls here on the live. That's amazing. I'm super excited to see that many people here tuning on in. Like that means a lot to me. That means we have a really strong community, and that's amazing. God bless you all. Thank you. We are going to take a look at that New York Open too as well on the NASDAQ, right? I think it's about to pop. I'm long, baby. He thinks. Remember to buy the dips. Yeah, exactly. I bought the dips. You can see I bought spot BTC today. If that's the only thing I did, so be it today. You know, I don't have to do anything else. At least I made a move. So there could be a bounce. Look, what we saw is a possible cup and handle. For BTC, right? And we know how cup and handles are, high or low. So I see it both ways. I see a bearish retest. I could see a cup and handle. I know it's a symmetrical triangle. It's a 50-50 shot either way. BOOKMAP suggests that we dump. Everybody is bearish in my humble opinion. Let's go back to the poll and see what the poll says. So we have 700 votes in the poll, which is amazing. Thank you so much. I would like to get everybody voting, though. So everyone that's here, let's vote. The more participation, the better. Why not? 35 minutes, so 703 votes. It's amazing. 2 votes. 20 votes a minute. That's an awesome rate. So 53% of bear, 47% of bull. So it's the same thing. Like half the market is flipped here. I'm in Northern Canada doing inventory in a construction yard, tuned into the live. God bless you, man. I hope that's going well for you up there. Saskatchewan, what are we talking? How far up are you there? Exactly. GM, blessings all. Good blessings to you, my friend. And let's take another see, the CME watch tool, right? Which is bearish on us too. Now a 53% chance of a rate cut. Now they're back, just like my poll here. But you know, we're back and forth. And this data is giving Bitcoin back and forth. So you can see everything is, nobody has a clear picture. And that's why we're in the middle right now. Could be a good time to stay in Tether, you know what I mean? Stack and Tether and just kind of wait for things to clear on out. Let's take a look at what's happening now that we're back. We're going to get CPI, PPI, and all the data coming our way. Did they jump on immediately? Let's see what happens. We've got a big week ahead of us next week as well with all that new information. So tomorrow, nothing crazy. You have FOMC members that nobody cares about, Kashkari and Daly, and a bunch of Canadian, federal budget balance. Kind of want to see that. What's that all about? Negative, forecast at negative 213 billion. And previous, it was above. So, yeah, and we want to see that continue to dump, right? That's tentative, though. And then we have natural gas storage. So nothing crazy as we end out the week. Looks like we'll be okay. It is Thursday the 13th today. So just, nothing crazy today. We have crude oil inventories at 12 o'clock. That might throw, if you're trading oil, I mean, that's got to do something to the market, right? Which could slightly affect some Forex. 927, the NASDAQ's about to open here on the day. So mixed signals for Bitcoin. I'm unable to pull the trigger just yet here for BTC. If I do, it would have to be on the daily time frame. And then the daily would have to be turning for me. Have to get this thing to flip. Yeah, so I guess to me, it's and again, you could even do this, right? Look at that, like a giant descending, which I didn't even. So I just get way more bearish signs than bullish signs for BTC, but I've seen Bitcoin do amazing things when it looks bearish. So yeah, my trader instincts telling me that neither trade are going to make me look amazing. The odds aren't great for me. I like to take trades that I know I'm going to look good when I take them. You know what I mean? The odds of me winning are good, right? So I take the trade in front of you and I'm like, oh, that's a good odds. I know the probability, right? So I take, why would I take trades that might make me look pretty stupid? Like I could short here and look stupid. I could long here and look stupid. Resistance. Again, who cares about looking stupid? Who cares what people think? You got to do you and have fun in this life. I can also risk a smaller amount and just go to see how I feel about the move, right? Careful, alts. Bitcoin dominance is up. Are you in the charts every day before the New York Open? Yes, I am in the trading group. I'm doing this in the trading group every morning. I'm posting what I'm doing, what I'm in. I have a video update at 7 in the morning. And we're doing basically actively this, but I'm not, Sam, do you think we're going to have sideways price action until QE in December? Yes, that makes sense to me. Sailor's master price is a lower price now than when Bitcoin was at 74K in April. Interesting. We'll take a look at that too, just to kind of see where that's going. So I've looked at it a few different ways here. For me, the bears have the edge, so the probability is bearish. If you short and get wrecked, I mean, they played with TA, right? Because like the probability is, this is a bear flag. Shoulder, head, right shoulder, broke the neckline, dumped, retested, and there's probably more downside coming. But I do see this as a little bit of a cup and handle. Possible double bottom there too at 1015. No, you don't. And again, you don't have to take a trade. Jerome holds the Joker card to play before he leaves his final legacy. Funny, right? Sam, where will you be in Lisbon? In Lisbon. Yeah. Yeah, I'll be in Lisbon. Yeah. Where in Lisbon? In Lisbon. Yeah. Yep. Sam, where will you be in Boston? In Boston. I will be on 5th Street at 8:45 a.m. I will be facing northeast as the sun goes about my upper lip, and I'll be right outside the bakery called La Lisbon Baccarat. And if you want to meet me there, I'll be there at 8:10, 45 seconds and 15 minutes. My longitude and latitude will be 14.5, 689. On the latitude, my longitude will be 241, 67, and 8. I'll see you there. Meet you at the point. Whoa, that's some ginger. Ah. Whoa, that one got me good. Ginger bean, ginger sauce. So, to me, Bitcoin just looks more bearish than bullish. I think I'm trying to draw too happy of a picture here with the cup and handle, but you just never know. You never know. It's interesting. That's the kind of move that made me, though. When everyone was bearish, I would see the cup and handle and go long. I guess I'm just not the cowboy I used to be. You know, who was that guy with that chain and that hoodie back in the day? What happened to that guy? I had one kid. Life, you know, when I started the channel, I only had one child 6 years ago. I've had 2 children while the channel's been on, like my whole life has exploded. Everything that I've ever asked God for, I've been able to achieve, and I feel so blessed in this life. Shout out to Jamie. Can't wait to see Jamie. Shout out to my whole team. Hope I have a safe flight today. So, man, it could go either way. I can't. You never know. Feel like I got to take a trade. I don't know why. Look, there's even some hidden bullish divergence, though. Yeah, I guess that's still swinging down slightly, but doesn't swing down as sharp as this. It is technically hidden bullish. Uh-oh. Spaghetti-o. Possible double bottom for Bitcoin on the daily time frame. You know, I like the daily double bottom. That was my first instinct last night. That's the trade I was in. And I guess, you know, with the bearish cross, with all the bearishness and how bearish it is, I'm just going to go against the grain. Heck, we could go to 114.5. Give me something to pay attention to, right? 114.579. And then we'll go to 99,073. Crazy, it would make a big move, and I'll, but the key is not to be greedy. I can add to this trade. Maybe I only make a few $100 in the first move, but I can add to the trade. If we find a flag on the 1 minute or the 1 hour, I can make another trade on another exchange. It doesn't have to be all or nothing right now. That's what I always tell myself. Take a deep breath. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. We can add to this at another time. What if I just go 11 for 40? I get out of the airport up 50, 60 grand, right? We go full port it. We say enough is enough. 21 for 74 grand, and we just take it. We take what is ours today. No, I'm just joking. I'm very easy on this. Very, very, very small ball. I could take a 697. Look at the 22 bear market versus the 20 top. It looks identical. We're about to lose the 50 weekly. I agree with you. They look identical 100%. Listen, that guy opened a small long on ETH. Already had a trade on advances this morning. Fear and greed dipped to 10 till I'll buy. Yeah, 10. I mean, I don't wait till 10. I just start the DCA. We hit 10. It's like whole Bitcoin season. All right. Hey, Lois, I think I'm going to grow a beard. Hey, Chris, go to your room. My name's Peter Griffin. That's right. When I watch Sam Price, I watch the Crypto Lifer every single day. Yeah. Cohog, let's go get some beers. Hey, Lois, I think I'm going to grow a beard. Shout out to all the beautiful people out here. Someone asked for that. I just had to do it. I read it. It made me get, the ginger got me feeling crispy, man, to be honest. You know what? I believe I'm just going to stay off the trade, man. Look at it. Bearish cross. It just looks... Look, I mean, the good thing I didn't get in there. That would have rocked me. Amadeus. Rock me, Amadeus. Again, it goes back to the fact that the 1 hour is in a symmetrical triangle and they break to the downside more than they do anything else. Could have been the perfect long entry, though, to long the fear. Imagine longing that red right now. Like using no emotion and just saying, I'm all in, right? Symmetrical triangles break to the downside more than they do not, right? Again, the short would just put your stop loss to me like right above. I would put my stop right here above that key level. It's just tough today, I have to be honest. Open to short, close your eyes. Yeah, thanks for working hard. Keep it real and injecting positive topics regardless of the markets. God bless you, man. Bull market uptrend may be broken today, yeah. Hey, Sam, thanks for your dedication and commitment. Sometimes the promotion advertisement and the way they charge, can they be made? God bless you, man. Bitcoin hasn't closed the candle below 100K in the last 6 months. I'm staying bullish, positive, and patient. Mr. Dirty Deeds, man. Wow. What's Sailor doing with the bears? Chewing that strategy guard, vultures. Got to prepare for anything. I mean, it's melting down now. It's melting down, right? You're below the 200 moving average there. BOOKMAP says we're going to take a beat down. Just hard. I don't even get like a risk to reward ratio that I'm looking for, right? Dang, there was the short now. Now I'm chasing the short, right? Symmetrical triangles. You could easily bounce back up in there too, though. Like this could just be, they could be range trading this thing. You did just lose the 200 moving average. Look at the 5 minute made a bear flag. Was that the 1 minute? Nah, 15 minute. Look, 15 minute made a bear flag too. Look, shoulder, head, right shoulder, and a bear flag right there. Dumb. Pretty oversold now. You'd almost be looking for this to get tight and then to get in again somewhere in that key level, right? It's very tough though. It's hard to tell. Very hard to tell right now. See, I did nothing. I didn't lose. Sometimes doing nothing is the best thing you can do. Crypto only a market for traders now. Yeah. Guys, Bitcoin dumps every single day at 9:30 Eastern. Simply shorted every weekday at 9:30. Free money. Interesting. Thank you for saying that. I didn't know that. 9:30 right there. It took a dump. Yeah. I could backtest that theory too. Just, short it. Take your money, move away. Wow, back at 120 here at the bounce. Okay. I'm going to make a final call here because I gotta run. Wow, that was the epic entry. I'm going to do what I've always done, which is be more of a perma bull than anything else, right? I'm going to long to that 114 $500 level, all right? And my stop's going to be below the lowest wick here. And we're live trading on WEEX, my friends. 98,620. Okay. Eight for three. And we're going to take the long. We're going to take the long. And I'll be sweating it the whole time I'm in the airport. And there you go. Maybe we add to it. We get above here and retest. We add to that ceremony at 106. See if we can make more like 10 grand, you know? All right, so I took the long. We'll see what happens. I'm already up 3%. Look, I'm the king of 3%. Look at that. Oh, my God, I made 3%. Who does that? The king of 3%. He's up 7%, 8%. Bitcoin. So I leave you with this idea. I leave you with the idea that nothing ventured, nothing gained. Only the strong survive, right? Fortune favors the brave. I'm going to miss my regular time slot. That hurts me today. It saddens me. But God will take care of us, right? God will keep the channel alive. God will keep us going. I have submitted to God. I believe that all things are great. Look at that. I'm up $152 immediately. I made a half a day's pay already. For most people, $300, $500 is a day's pay, right? I mean, what are you going to do? Look at that. 777s right there, the 9777. We'll see what happens. There's treachery out here. It's a $55,000 trade. $1,100 at 47x lev. Do not do this if you don't know what you're doing. Only demo trade. It's a very simple thing that I'm doing. It's basically a cup and handle, double bottom. And it can easily make a right shoulder. You never know what's going to happen here. Yeah, it becomes 20 trillion in the fractional reserve system. Yeah, the fractional reserve lend and then pump that money into the markets. I like what you're saying there. Bit of alpha there from what he's saying. Everyone, I got to jump on out of here and get ready. May God bless each and every one of you for being here. Thank you so much for being amazing. Feel the energy, feel the vibes, feel the life for frequency, baby. We got this. Fear not, stress not, believe in yourself. We may take a nasty dump down to 97,000. I probably will get stopped out here. But, again, $800 will not be the end of my life. I'm not over-risking. But make sure, put yourself in harm's way. God bless everybody. I love you. I appreciate you. Don't do what you see anybody do on YouTube or anything else. Get yourself an education. Find your way and trade your move. Trade your system. Right? I love you. I thank you. I'll check back in with the group throughout the day as I'm traveling. And I'll be pushing out the charts with my iPad. I have Wi-Fi and all that fun stuff. So I'll be around. I'm not disappearing. And then when I get on that plane, I'll tell you guys. And it's only an 8-hour flight. It'll be quick. And I'll be in Portugal before you know it. Shout out to everybody in the trading group. Hit that link to join that Telegram group. All right. And also remember the Cyber Monday sale. Something I have to talk about real quick because it's important. You're going to have access to 24 hours before that. You're going to have an awesome discount. Jump on into that. All right. That link is going to be below all my videos. You'll see it right there. It'll be, say, Black Friday email list. Hit that. Get the access 24 hours in advance to a better discount. All right. You've got this. You can. You will. You are the best. I love you. I appreciate you. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you so much. Should be regular scheduled time tomorrow. So we should be fine. Bitcoin now struggling back to 101.895. It's going to be up and down all day long. It's going to be a crazy day. God bless everybody. Thank you so much. I'll see you on the flip side.